The Prime Minister shouldn't be shy. He knows the Liberals will defend Senate entitlements, but New Democrats will stand up for the taxpayer. That's the difference. Mr. Speaker, Senator Tkachuk was called by the Prime Minister's office about the...
Order. This is taking up a lot of time. I'll urge members to hold off. The member for Timmins James Bay has the floor. I'd like to be able to hear him.
They're sounding suddenly very leaderless over there. Now, Mr. Speaker, Senator Tkachuk was called by the Prime Minister's office about the Duffy affair. Tkachuk said because, quote, the scandal was hurting us politically. Nigel Wright then wrote this $90,000 secret check, and Senator Tkachuk then tipped off Duffy about the inappropriate Florida per diems. So who went back and briefed the Prime Minister about how Duffy's problems were suddenly being resolved? Who else was in the office helping the Prime Minister on this file?
The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
It's just interesting to have a New Democrat today, of all days, stand before the House in full sobriety and say the NDP believe in defending taxpayers. Look, we know that there are two NDP members of Parliament who haven't filed and haven't paid their taxes, one of them to the tune of $60,000. As a matter of fact, the revenue critic for the NDP is one of the people who didn't pay taxes to Revenue Canada. Mr. Speaker, there's so many jokes that come to mind about the NDP, I don't even know where to begin, but the fact is, the NDP do not stand up for taxpayers, as they're showing by their own behavior.
The Honourable Member for Timmins James Bay.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the member. He's doing a great audition for leader, but I'd like to tell him to tell his peekaboo Prime Minister to stop hiding from Canadians. He needs to start showing some accountability. It was the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff who was involved in writing what may have been an illegal $90,000 check. And the Senate involved in the investigation tells us he was called by the Prime Minister's office and they changed the audit report. These aren't rogue operatives. This wasn't a one-man job. Who else in the Prime Minister's office was involved in trying to deal with the political fallout from the Senate scandal? Does he know that? He could be leader then.
The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
Nigel Wright made it clear in his statement to the public when he resigned as Chief of Staff that he acted alone. And if the member opposite doesn't believe in that, the Ethics Commissioner is examining this matter itself. But I think what's more important on the Senate is that this House moves forward with Senate reform, the two pieces of legislation we have before this House. If the NDP believe in reforming the Senate, let's do that. And if they believe in accountability, they will make sure that their NDP colleagues pay their taxes like all Canadians have to do.